Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see. I'm going to check just a couple of things. This is kind of the first time that I decided to live stream, and I don't normally, but I figured this could be an opportunity to chat with other writers, other authors, and just kind of discuss the writing craft in general. Or this might potentially give me a way to talk with potential readers. So we'll give it a try and we'll see how it works. Hopefully I'm coming through okay. I'm going to check just a couple of things here. Gosh, what is my channel? I can't even remember my channel. The Right Stuff. Idiot. Okay. I'm pretty sure I subscribed to myself. Just gotta see if I can find myself. Oh my gosh. Wait. I know how to do it. There we go. That and live. I'm just gonna see how this is going. Okay. Make sure my volume's coming through okay. Alright. I can hear myself. That's a good sign. Thank you, dear. You're so sweet. All right. Now I'm on top chat. I gotta move to live chat. Close. There we go. Okay. Turn off my own live stream. Okay. There's one more thing I want to check. I want to see. Make sure I'm not going to give anything away that I shouldn't. If I do this, let me see. Hey, look at that. Okay, so I can have a picture-in-picture. Or I suppose I had to switch that around. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Boop. Okay, and then let's see. There was one more thing I wanted to do. So, do I have a share link? This is a lot of stuff to figure out trying to live stream. I'm sure this is really going to annoy people at the very beginning, but we'll make it work. Customization. There's usually like some kind of share link that I can do. Maybe I just need to go back to here. Oh no, wait, there it is. Found it. Share. Copy. I'm gonna post this in my writers group. Try this out. All right, and share link. Stream trial run. Okay. All right, whatever. It's fine. Oh, I have a top contributor badge on Facebook. Okay. Well, So, before I get started, I need a drink of water. All right. Oh. So everybody says that in order to live stream, you need to always be talking about something, but it's so weird to have to like talk about something by yourself. I mean, it's just strange, but also I get it, because in order to have an audience, in order to have somebody to engage with you, you have to be talking about something. You can't just stand here and be silent. But I don't know. I guess I should be talking about my writing stuff. Oh man, hang on. Okay. Whoa, I got some latency issues. Okay. All right. Sorry, that must have been horrible. A couple other things I forgot to even set up in the first place. Let's see how that looks. This, it's showing very... It's lagging way behind. And I think I had low latency on, but that was... Maybe it's not catching up. I don't know. We'll see where I landed once my video catches up, because my goodness, that was awful. Anyways, I figured I better set up my books, because I don't even do that in my regular videos, which is just ridiculous. It's like, how am I gonna... I have to be able to market myself, and I can't do that if I'm never having my books up. All right. Okay, let me double check my latency. Yeah, it says low latency, but the video that I'm showing is way behind. Anyways. So, I guess I'll talk a little bit about where I am in the process. So, I've come to a decision where I have to step back just a little bit, because in order for me to get to the place where I feel like I can write a little better, I mean, there's a couple other things I'm working on as well, but I reached the point where I need to read other books in order to have a better sense of how to write good story. Like, I've written 3 books. Well, I've written more than that, but I've published 3 books, and I've written probably about 5. And right now, I don't have, I feel, enough experience reading things to where I can do what I need to write engaging stories. And like, that's okay, but in order for me to advance and reach the point where I can start feeling like I'm an author worth worth calling himself an author, which I do anyways. Like, I feel like I'm an author, right? I call myself an author, but I want to be on the level of traditionally published authors. And arguably that's not really possible, but I want to get as close as I can. And so for me to be able to do that, yeah, I got to keep writing, but I also have to make sure that I have experience with other forms of literature besides my own. And kind of the way I had been going, I don't have a whole lot of experience with other books. I've definitely read a decent amount, but I haven't read as much as I should, if that makes sense. So I don't know. It's something I'm working on. It's something that I am trying to make sure that I kind of have in my toolbox. But it's a process. So I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna read a few things. I haven't read Wheel of Time. I really need to read Wheel of Time, because it's just, man, it's like, it's almost a must, right? I feel like it's a must as an author, as a fantasy author. It's a must for me to read that series. And I have the first 3 books. I don't have the whole series. I have the first 3 books, so I at least need to read those. I'm also reading through Brandon Sanderson's Words of Radiance. So I'm on the 2nd book. And I think I am going to read the Silmarillion. And I do, even though everybody hates it and everybody's mad at Patrick Rothfuss, I am going to read The Name of the Wind. I guess the first 2 books, as I understand it. There's only 2. So I'll do that. And then we'll see from there. And I don't think I can take a complete break from writing. I think I have to write a little bit, but maybe I won't start my actual full-fledged next project, or even maybe publish my next book until I've gotten a little more reading under my belt. I've got one that's kind of in the editing phase. It's a little bit in the editing phase, but I kind of backed away from it. But I don't want to leave it so long that I forget what was happening and what kind of things I wanted to edit. Although everybody says, especially in the Facebook writers group, that everybody says that you need to step back in between editing phases. Like, you have to give yourself that time to step away from it, so that when you come back to it, you're looking at it with more fresh eyes than if you just do round after round after round. So that's definitely something I've found. And so I don't know if I'll leave that project alone, or if I'll do some more editing on it and then publish it before I kind of get off this reading kick. But I've got to finish this reading kick. I don't know how long that's going to take. Maybe a year. Not sure. But yeah, once I do that, I feel like I'm going to be in a good spot to be able to really get a more holistic experience with how to write good fantasy. And right now I am woefully underread on fantasy books, especially modern fantasy. So that's something I have to do. But there's a little more in the works other than just what I've got in the Ages of Ashea series. Um, Nothing concrete yet, but stuff I'm thinking about and I'm planning on, because while I love the Ages of Ashea universe, I don't want to stay in there forever. I don't want to stay in one fantasy universe forever, because I think there's so much more out there that is worth exploring. So many other ideas, so many other themes, so many other worlds to create, that if I just restrict myself to one that I created, I think I'm doing myself a disservice. I think most writers would be doing themselves a disservice by staying, like, if you write fantasy, don't make one universe your entire career. I mean, I guess you could, if that's all you're going for, but if you're in the long game, I think you have to be willing to stretch out a little bit, to branch out. And I think you could do the same thing for mystery, romance, whatever. You can, on things based in realism, you can branch out into different timelines. You can branch out into different types of characters. I mean, there's just so much to explore as an author, that if you're not taking that time to explore other areas, even if it's like a short story or something, like you're not stretching your creative muscles. And I think that's so important to be able to do. But it's, that's just kind of my opinion, I suppose. I'm sure there are other people out there with different opinions. But yeah. So that's one of the, man, that's a hard thing to just be able to keep going. One thing that I've found writing is that you eventually burn out, even if you're writing different stories and you're stretching those muscles. Still, sometimes I get a little tired, and I get a little tired of just writing. Like, I want to do other things. I want time for other things. I'm not like Brandon Sanderson. I can't write 5 projects in 2 years or 1 year or whatever in the world he did. That was just ridiculous. I can't even imagine doing that as an author. But he's kind of he's a little bit of a anomaly, and I got mad respect for the guy, because his level of accomplishment, and I'm sure he works hard at it too. I think I've heard that he schedules out his time really well, and of course he's got other people to help him along with whatever thing he's got going on, and getting tasks accomplished throughout the day. But still, the man is a workhorse, and it's very impressive. I'll just say that. But I hope to get there. I feel like the better, or the more I grow and the better I write, the more that I'm going to be able to hit that stride. Because it's like anything, right? The more skill you have in something, the easier it gets, and the more work that you can produce. So I feel like, if me as an author, if I get to the point where I can hit everything I need to, and do minimal revisions, and even learn how to edit better, that I can pump out a lot more of my work than if I stay at my current level. So I'm sure, because Brandon Sanderson has written so many books, I'm sure he's just at that level where he can just pump out books like nonstop, because he knows all the beats to hit. He knows all the story structure to watch out for, and character development and all this stuff. So it's like second nature to him. And that's got to make the job of writing a novel so much easier. I can't even imagine. Sorry for this creaking chair, by the way. It sucks. I need to get a new one, but just haven't been able to. So, what else? I don't want to make this video entirely boring. So I've been playing Elden Ring, if that interests anybody. And Elden Ring it's a very unique game. It's like I tried, what was it? Not Bloodborne, Dark Souls. I tried Dark Souls, I think 1 and 2. I didn't play probably more than half an hour of either one of them. And it just wasn't for me, but for some reason, I have a couple friends that game as well, and they picked up Elden Ring, and so I think that let me get into it a little bit more. But so I did pick it up, and the more I played it, the more I got into it, and it really drew me in more than any other similar game has before. But I've made my way pretty far, and it's getting interesting. I had to start a second character because my friends can only play once a week, if that, and so I wanted to continue and progress in the story. So I started a second character, and I've been making my way through it, and it's very interesting, and it's hooked me in really well. It's really a good game. But man, you just talking for a second just about writing and story and video games. That is the first thing that ever got me into stories, or even the thought of writing novels, was just story and video games, because I play games like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and these games just sucked me in so much with the story that just the idea of being able to come up with your own narrative became so appealing, because video games are different because you actually have the visuals that can go with it. You actually have sounds and everything else that accompany that don't accompany a book. But even so, like, the idea of getting a book and just creating your own world and universe just sounded so awesome. And Mass Effect, just how they put everything in there that fit together, all these different alien races, and this big mysterious bad in outer space that loomed over you, even though you really didn't learn anything about it in the first Mass Effect, not much at least. And it was so awesome to me. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, man, I want to do this. I want to create stories, because I'm looking at these video games that have such incredible stories, and that even if I couldn't play it, like if I only had to watch somebody play like Mass Effect or Dragon Age, or even like Skyrim, like just the story of how everything fits together, and all these little snippets about the world, and how to how it all fit together. It was so cool. And video games that was one of the things that really brought me into storytelling, and it was so worth not worth it, but it was so appealing to me that that's the largest portion of what made me look at it and be like, okay, yeah, now I want to start telling stories. And I still play games when I can, But by this point, you know, writing is the bulk of what I'm trying to do with my time. Um, Even though it's not very profitable, as most indie authors would tell you. Um, yeah, it's fun, but whether or not I'll actually make any money off of it, that's yet to be determined, and that's that's really okay. Like, to be an indie author, you really have to be okay with not making any money, and probably for a while, and possibly ever, because as an indie author, you just don't have the marketing channels that is available to a traditionally published author. Um, because those publishing houses, they can get your book in retail stores, and I've talked about this in other videos before, but as an indie author, you have like a couple storefronts that you can do, and online storefronts, not even retail stores unless you're lucky, or you know how to get your foot inside of them. But really, it's just trying to sell books as an indie author. You have so many things working against you. You don't have really, when it comes uh, to marketing your book, the publishing house is what has all those extra arms and tendrils that they have inside of other retail markets, and that availability is what lets the masses see your books. And as an indie author, you only have one or two markets, and then you're also competing for every other indie author out there, and there's thousands, probably thousands, maybe tens of thousands, who are trying to do the same thing you are. And in order to make any money, you have to actually stand out, which is just, it's so difficult. So in order to be an indie author, you really have to be committed to the work, and you really have to be committed to the craft, because you're also responsible for editing. You're also responsible for your art and your art direction, and you don't always have professionals in your corner to take care of that kind of stuff, and you also don't or maybe you don't have the cash to get professionals to be in your corner. Money can buy a lot of things, honestly, but if you're an indie author and you're trying to make it, like, you either got to have the dedication, or you got to have the cash to kind of help boost some of your visibility in the market. And that's hard, man. It's hard. And like I said, I haven't even made it, and I'm still going. I'm still trying, but right now it is what it is. And I'm lucky if I see a couple bucks in my in my business account at the end of the month, because it's, you got to get your sales where you can. Speaking of sales, and I might do a video on this later, I found out something. I'm sure it's widely known, but selling books on Amazon, the breakdown for royalties is not exactly how Amazon would have you believe it, even though they describe it and they have it out there for you to understand. And I'm sure there's a reason to it, but I'll do like a full breakdown video on it later, because I thought it was rather interesting. And I don't know if there's a way to change it, or for writers, indie authors, to get it changed. But right now, like, you're getting screwed. The way the breakdown works, I guess if I'm just going to give like a quick summary of what it is, the way the breakdown works for authors selling their books on Amazon, yes, you have your ebooks, and authors get 70% of the sale of your ebook, and Amazon gets 30. But when it comes to the print books, Amazon tells you that there's the printing cost, right? And then you get 60% as the author of the book sale. Well, that's not exactly true, because what it is they give you your 60% off the top of the book sale. So if I'm let's just say I'm selling a book for $10, I'm supposed to get $6 of that as my royalty. Well, the thing is that they will take your 60% and then they'll deduct the cost of printing your book from your 60%. So the way, at least that I've got mine priced out, really what I'm getting, it's 20%. And 20% of a book sale, that's like getting $2 off of a $10 book. And like, to some degree, I kind of get it, because you are paying them for being on their storefront. Traditional authors, even though they don't pay it out of pocket because it's the publishing house that pays to have the books produced, they get, like you said, 70-30, not 60-40. 70-30 is for ebooks. 60-40 is for print books. So, what was I saying? So basically, I get that, because traditional authors have to pay, right, the book bindery to produce the books. And that's kind of what you're doing for Amazon. You're paying Amazon to produce your book. But in my opinion, like, Amazon really should be taking the cost of the book off the top of the book sale and then giving you 60% of what's left over. But the thing is, like, Amazon has to get all their money, and I'm sure that's why they price it that way. Would they go under, or would they have to drastically cut back if they got 40% of what's left after the cost of production? I don't know. For the way that I have my books priced, it's like, what was it? It was something like a $2 difference, maybe like a $4 difference in some instances from what they would be getting. But man, like, I would also be getting a couple dollars more, and it's getting into it's splitting hairs, I guess, because how much should they get, how much should you get, and I don't know. To me, though, it sounds extremely unfair, and maybe I'm just being whiny. I don't know, but man, just getting 60% of the cut and then having the book production cost cut from that just seems so scummy of Amazon to do it that way. And it's just, it's better than it's better than traditional authors, which get something like 80 cents or something off of each book that they sell. Hey, TJ. Nah, you're good. Just chatting about book stuff and author stuff. So, but yeah, Amazon. I don't know. They're a necessary evil at this point, but hopefully, hopefully they square some things away. But it depends on how many authors kind of complain about it, I guess. Definitely getting a rewatch. Nice. Yeah, it should be available once I end the stream here in about 8 minutes. So mostly just giving this a trial run, trying to see if I'm up for the task of live streaming, because I know there's plenty of authors out there. I like talking about the writing craft and how to go about it, and the troubles we face as indie authors, or even traditional authors. I'm sure there's plenty of traditional authors out there who have issues with some things, but yeah, it's tough. It's hard. It's hard staying motivated, especially when you're not you're not getting a whole lot from each book sale. And then determining the price, right? That's another hard thing, because as an indie author, people don't trust the quality of your work until you've proven yourself, at least. But like you set it too high, people are going to be like, "Oh, that's not worth it. That's an indie author. They're not going to I shouldn't be paying that much for an indie book." And then there's other people, if you set it too low, they're like, "Well, this must be garbage because it's super cheap. So I guess I'm not going to read this." So where's the line? Where's the good price range for pricing your books? I don't know. And that's a tough thing. You got to make some money, but you try to make all the money, and obviously people are going to be turned away. It's just, I don't know. I need to maybe I need to do more market research, see what the successful indie authors are pricing their books at, and what kind of percentage you should look at getting, because I really don't know. I'm not sure what the answer is. Oh. Let's see, there's about 5 minutes left. Well, let's see. Sorry, my brain just kind of went blank, and I don't know. Hopefully, I do plan on doing this more often. I think this is fun, and it's a really good opportunity to connect with some other people and have discussions. Because I've got a ton to learn, honestly. I've been at this for a few years, but I know that there's tons more things I should be picking up that I just haven't yet. And so hopefully I get to learn from some cool people and get some more knowledge, whether it's on writing in general, because let's face it, I obviously haven't reached the pinnacle of my ability or even maybe a level that is going to help me find greater success or even more of a readership. But or if it's on the business side of things and how to market your book and where to go for readers. That's been my biggest thing. And this is probably the last topic that I'll kind of hit on, is where do you find readers? Hey Luke, how's it going? Nice to see you. Finding readers is just ridiculously hard because it's easy. Here's the thing that I found is that it's easy to find other writers. It's easy to connect with other people who are on the same path you are, who are trying to market their books, who are trying to write their books, who are trying to write better, and try different things and kind of carve their own path. But it's like everywhere that you can find readers does not let you self-promote. So it's like, well, then what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go to find people who actually want to read my books or who would give my books a chance? And like, aside from, and by the way, in my experience, trying to use not Microsoft, Amazon's ad program, where you can kind of create your own ad to market your book, I found a little bit of success the first time I used it, but the second and third time produced almost no results, and I've heard kind of negative, bad things about it anyway. So yeah, I just I don't know. Ever heard of Royal Road? No, I haven't. Uh, what is that? Is that like a books online bookstore? Royal Road. Let me know, TJ. Because yeah, if that's something worth looking into, I'd definitely like to do that. But yeah, finding readers is incredibly difficult. Um, I'm sure there's places out there, ways to get readers. Um, I don't know what they are. I haven't found them. I've tried giving my books away. I've tried, um, you tell friends and family, uh, you put it out on social media, and it's tough. Readers tend to stay in their favorite genres. It's hard to get them to branch out sometimes. Yeah. That's the other thing. Um, and one thing that was interesting was that when I was working uh, at a retail store, there were a couple of people who actually gave me a chance just because they knew me, and a couple of these people hadn't read anything in a while, and that was kind of cool. So maybe in order to do that, you just have to have those personal relationships and connections. So Royal Road, you can write for free on an account and post chapters of your book as you write them. Amazon sometimes sources authors from there. Really? Okay. Interesting. Write for free on an account and post chapters of your book. That sounds a little bit like Amazon, or what do they call it? Kindle Vella. So you can write like episodic stuff, release a little bit at a time. It sounds like. But yeah, I've thought about doing that before, and it, I don't know. I was a little scared to try it honestly because the way that I'm very much a discovery writer, so I'm like, how can I release a chapter at a time and then have that each release be largely unedited, and then if I need to change major story plots, how does that fit in? But maybe I just need to take a look at it and just dive a little deeper and see how it goes. So that's I'll check it out though, TJ. Thanks. Royal Road. I'll make a note of that. But it sounds cool. I'll give it a look. But well, it's 10 o'clock. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate it. This was kind of fun, and I appreciate the interaction. So I'll probably try this again sometime before too long, and talk about more stuff. So I think it's a good opportunity. So and if you haven't subscribed, if you do so, I think that should notify you when I go live. If you want to come back. So appreciate you, and we'll check you later. Thanks, Luke. Thank you, TJ. Appreciate that. Take it easy.